Hello friends, a great welcome to my channel. I am Poonam Dua and today in this video we are going to do a poetry which shows the impact of Holocaust. Holocaust, which was a brutal act conducted majorly by Hitler. Let us proceed to the video now and let us know what is so horrible in this poetry. Before moving further, please do not forget to like, share, subscribe the channel and put your valuable feedback in comments. Written by N. Sexton, a very popular American poet. N. Sexton was an American poet known for her highly personal confessional verses. Other than N. Sexton, Sylvia Plath is counted under the confessional poets. She won the Pulitzer Prize for Poetry in 1967 for her book Live or Die. These four are some of the major works written by her: Love Poems, Transformations, The Book of Folly, The Death Notebooks. But today we will talk about After Auschwitz. After Auschwitz by N. Sexton explores the poet's emotional reaction to the horrors of the Holocaust and her plea to God to hear her. Holocaust क्या था? Holocaust में क्या क्या ऐसा inhuman किया गया that many people, many writers became angry. That we will come to know first and then we will know about the poetry. When I read this poetry after Auschwitz for the first time, I suddenly realized that this poetry is very similar to the one written by Amrita Pritam. Our very own Amrita Pritam wrote Aaj Akha Barish Shanu after the horror impacts of Partition of India 1947, and the same way she has written about the after impacts of Holocaust. Why this name has been given to this poetry, this also we will come to know. Let us know some basics. After Auschwitz was written by her in 1973 and the poem is a reaction piece written by a speaker that is filled with anger over the atrocities committed by Nazis. Nazis ने जो अत्याचार की उनके ऊपर गुस्सा है हमारी पोएट को, and more specifically man. During the Holocaust, she speaks about her anger and how it fills her daily, that death does not care about what is happening and does not take those who really deserve it. So she is very angry by the so-called act which people consider कि it was the act of God, it was something done as per the wish of God, but she says कि is death being so discriminating, she is not coming to those who are doing the atrocities but only to those who are suffering undeservedly. We will know the backstory of Holocaust too. The Holocaust, also known as the Shoah, was the genocide, the killing at the massive scale of European Jews during World War II. Between these years 1941 and 45, Nazi Germany and its collaborators systematically murdered some 6 million Jews. Can you just imagine? 6 million Jews across German occupied Europe, around two-thirds of Europe's Jewish population. Can you even think about a scenario? Two-thirds of some community's population was killed just like that, more than 66%. Here is the backstory of what Auschwitz was in our history book. Let us know about the Auschwitz too. Auschwitz was one of the largest concentration camps that held Jewish people of all ages captive during World War II. No mercy was done with old people, no mercy was done with kids. Nazi soldiers were ordered and carried out many executions, many killings, and many experiments on Jewish people held at Auschwitz. And while writing this poem, our writer, while writing this poem, expresses feeling of anger, sadness, and outrage. Have a look at these places. Auschwitz was one of the largest concentration and extermination camps operated by Nazis during World War, and the camp was located in southern town of Auschwitz, which the Germans called Auschwitz. Auschwitz बोला जाता था Germans के द्वारा इसको. Near Wisla River. It was situated around in the area of 50 kilometers. So this is an old picture and this is the new picture, kind of treated as a museum these days. And even you can see here one of the crematorium in Auschwitz near Auschwitz, Poland. So the name Auschwitz basically has become synonymous with mass killing, mass extermination, or genocide in the aftermath of its role in killing of millions of Jews during the Holocaust. There is also a memorial place of the people, how they were treated. This is located in Paris. Have a look at what place prisoners were kept. And prisoners for what? Nothing. They have not done any crime. The crime was that they were born as Jews. Can that be a crime? And for such a thing, can somebody be kept in such a barracks? Prisoner barrack. This is a prisoner barrack, real one, located at Auschwitz. This is how they were just stuffed into it. 3 to 4 people in one very small barrack. And this is a kind of scenario that we are putting some object on some shelves. In the first paragraph, you will come to know the extent of her anger when she says anger as black as a book. She is using a simile here and is calling her anger to be too black that it overtakes her. Black is the color which can overtake anything, the darkest color. And she says each day each Nazi took at 8 a.m. a baby and sorted him for breakfast in his frying pan. Although this is metaphorical language, but not lesser than the brutality of Nazis. Each day each Nazi eats a child, eats a baby. And Death looks on with a casual eye and picks at the dirt under his fingernail. So she says कि death को personify किया गया यहाँ पर. Death is something which is just walking, and death is not occurring to those who deserve it, but to those poor innocent people who have not done any crime other than being born as a Jew. डेथ बिल्कुल कैजुअली वहां पर खड़ी है और अपने फिंगर नेल में से डर्ट निकाल रही है, just waiting for these people to die. Death is described as looking on at the scene with a casual eye. The death he is observing of innocent life do not bother him, and death takes no action to stop the Nazis in their murders, and death shows disregard by picking dirt under his fingernails. डेथ बहुत कैजुअली वहां पर खड़ी है और डेथ कहती है कि ठीक है, you do your work, you do your brutality, and once your brutality is over, then I'll occur to this person, I'll make this person dead. Third stanza. Man is evil, I say aloud. Man is a flower that should be burned, I say aloud. Man is a bird full of mud, I say aloud. In this paragraph, she is condemning all human beings, that this act, such an inhuman act, was done, and the whole world, very prominent politicians from the whole world were silent. They were not doing anything against Hitler. Everyone in the world knew what is being done with the Jews, but everyone was silent. How can that be possible? In this stanza, the speaker is passing judgment on the man and stating what she believes should be done about him. She says aloud, man is evil, man is flower that should be burnt, and she says ki I'm not at all ashamed of what I'm saying. 3 times she uses the phrase I say aloud, I say aloud, I say aloud. Again she says death looks on with a casual eye and scratches his anus, and you remember previously she said that death is taking dirt out of her fingernail. So death is described as looking on at the scene with a casual eye again. Death is observing innocent lives, and death earlier was picking dirt under the fingernail and this time just doing scratching. Man with his small pink toes with his miraculous fingers is not a temple but an outhouse. I say aloud. Let man never again raise his teacups. Let man never again write a book. Let man never again put on his shoe, let man never again raise his eyes. On a soft July night, never, 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 never. I say those things aloud. Now she is saying man, which is the uh, greatest, supreme creature of all the creatures created by God, has got miraculous finger, miraculous toes, but that man is not at all the representation of God. The man should be exiled from this world, and this is what she says aloud. She says the man should never be able to raise teacups, write a book, put on shoes, raise his eyes, everything which only human can do. Humans have been gifted with brains, humans have been gifted with a gift of language. And what are they doing with such a great, nice gift given by God? They are just killing each other. Killing that can be done by animals too, killing that can be done by birds too. So, what is so special about man? So, man should not be given any privilege that is available only to man. Sixth stanza is just a small line. She says, I beg the Lord not to hear. Final line. Final line stands alone, a single line. After the strength of her demands throughout this piece and the way she emphasized the fact that she is speaking aloud. Throughout the poetry, now you have seen I speak aloud. The last line comes as a surprise. Okay, what she's trying to say, she wants that the Lord should not hear. She is begging the Lord, the God, not to hear it. Man is here being forbidden to raise his eyes heavenwards towards God, as you know he is not deserving of divine forgiveness after what happened during the Holocaust. So she feels कि जब भगवान ने अभी तक नहीं सुना है तो आगे भी कोई जरूरत नहीं है सुनने की, and we are the one who always look towards God, but God has not listened yet. So God should not even listen us now. And everyone who is the culprit, everyone who is doing this inhuman act should be punished automatically. So, after Auschwitz may also be understood in general as a very bitter comment on the dehumanization wrought in man. And while writing this poem expresses feeling of anger, sadness and outrage as I told in the beginning as well, and her pain was expressed from what the Nazis did to other human beings in the concentration camps. Auschwitz is the name that will never ever be forgotten, never ever be removed from history, and all for the negative reasons, nothing glorious about it. Anne's poem is a creation of the horror she felt while touring the concentration camps. I think anyone who will take a tour of these camps will be filled with anger the same way Anne was filled with anger, and think about those who suffered it. So let us pray that nothing like that should ever be repeated. ये वीडियो आपको कैसा लगा मुझे कमेंट्स करके ज़रूर बताएं. I hope you liked the video and you can write about this poetry now in your exams. You may join the classes to cover all the topics in detail along with the PDFs and class discussions. Can click the link in description to get connected to us. And a great best of luck for your exams, and do not forget to share and subscribe the channel and give your valuable feedback in the form of comments.